Hello, everybody, and welcome again to another episode here at the Content Creators University. I'm very excited. Every time I'm very excited to connect with you guys. And every single time we connect with another professor, we call them, because this is a university, all right? Our motto here is to create, impact, and innovate. And every single time what we do is connect with one of the best content creators on the planet to learn from them the things and the secrets they have that they can teach us so that you and I, we can improve our setup, improve our approach to content creation altogether, improve our branding and understanding on how to build a business behind it, and also improve on how we monetize all this, all right? Very, very important things that we want to learn and we want to master as we keep growing together. So that's why we're here. Yesterday was a fantastic show with Elise Your Way. If you missed it, go on the channel and check it out. And stick around for more videos just like this. If you appreciate this, go ahead and smack the like button at the bottom there, and share this video with a friend and family member. Today's guest has some phenomenal things going on for him, and forewarn folks, he is a single father, and who knows, maybe his baby might want to pop up into the show. We welcome that, and that is the reality sometimes that you have to deal with, and we're about to learn how he's juggling all that. And he did something phenomenal. He was able to build himself with his bare hands his own key light. Yeah. Amazing, right? We're about to discover how he did that and how you and I, we can actually do the same thing. Who knows? By following him. So more to come. But before we get into all of that, I want to go ahead and thank those of you that are joining us live. And if you're watching this as a replay, go ahead and put in the comment section below what you appreciate about this stream. And if you're joining us live, I want to go ahead and thank you for those of you that are commenting into the comment section. Hey, Cree, appreciate you joining us live here. Thanks for you guys. Go ahead and, like it, show some love in the comment section, and let's go with this. Now, you guys know that this show is sponsored by RTN Streams. Now, RTN Streams is an super advanced live streaming solution that can allow you to take what you're already doing by broadcasting with your eCam that I'm using right now, right? I'm broadcasting it. If you want to take it to another level, be able to embed that onto your website, or if you want to run like a premium webinar type of thing, and then, or you want to, people to pay for that, or you want to, build your own TV station where you want to have 24/7 live streaming, uninterrupted live streaming. Well, you need a very advanced decoder, which is RTN Streams. So you want to go ahead and check them out at rtnstreams.com. And since they are the sponsor, let's go ahead and run the sponsor ad, and we'll be right back. Let's go. I always like seeing the ad. As you saw in the video, if you didn't know, yes, you can get yourself some free high quality overlays just by going to rtnstreams.com. All right, just like you saw in the ad. If you do not have some high-end overlays and you're looking to improve or just give it a bump to your video presentation, whether it's pre-recorded or live stream, just like the overlay I have right here that I'm digging, you want to go ahead and get yourself some free ones, high quality ones on rtnstreams.com. Pretty awesome stuff. Okay, now guys, we have some awesome things also happening the upcoming weeks that are coming throughout the rest of the month and next month as well. So let's see what's up next in the Content Creators University, who is joining us here. And there we go, folks. There we go. Right here, we have our friend Doc Rock. Doc Rock will be joining us in the Content Creators University on the 26th of May, right? We're very excited. And Doc Rock will be talking to us about how having so many or too many equipment can hinder your production value. Well, good conversation to have with Doc Rock. Looking forward to that. We also will have Kirk Nugent. Kirk Nugent, How It All Works, will be joining the Content Creators University here so we can discuss on the secrets on how to get on stage and overcome stage or camera fright, right? Very important things to know because, hey, if you don't go on stage the right way, you will not make the right impact. And it's all about impacting as soon as you step on stage or you go in front of the camera so people can connect with what you're doing and so that you can make a difference in this world. So we're about to talk about that with, Kirk Nugent. Very, very excited. Looking forward to that. We also have Lenita Hostin. Lenita Hostin will be joining us here on June 8th. And Lenita, she's a professional speaker, and she will come and talk to us about how we can translate, right, to people taking in personal experience and make that impact on your virtual event, right? It is important because you're on behind the camera, you're far away, and you want to make a true impact on your virtual events and how that can be successful. Very, very important. We're going to learn from her on June 8th. Very excited. Looking forward to that with Lenita. We also have another guest coming, which is Katie Fox, Ecamm marketing director. Will be joining us here in the Content Creators University, and we're about to talk about why is Ecamm so popular? What's the secret? What is awesome about it? Even though you and I, we may know there's more to it, right? More to it, and we're about to learn that and take that into our own entrepreneurship journey so we can make the right impact, develop relationships as relationship connections are the new currency, I say, right? So that is what I want to learn with her. Looking forward to that. Very excited. And we also will have Monty Weaver. Monty Weaver will be with us here in the Content Creator University on June 15th. Well, Monty is going to tell us how exactly we can not only improve and expand our reach through live streaming, streaming on Amazon Live, but how can we also get brand deals, right? We want to get those deals, those brand deals, and monetize what we're doing. For those of you that want to do this full time, very, very important conversations to be had, and looking forward to that with Monty on the show, right? The next guest today, like I was saying, he's a single father. His name is Luis Vega, aka Mr. Camera Junkie. This dude is phenomenal, right? He has some awesome things going on his set. We're about to take a look at some of his behind the scenes and what he has going on there, and how he was able to build with his own hand his own key light and save a lot of money because gear can be expensive. And we want to save some money that we have. So before I bring him on stage, let me let you guys know, for those of you who are not aware, something is happening at How It All Works. There is a conference taking place on the 30th and the 31st. And I am humbled to be one of the speakers on that conference. And this is the Next Level Conference. 2 days, folks. Is only $49 for the entire conference for 2 days. Go ahead and check it out. Grab yourself your ticket. Go to howitallworks.com for some awesome things going on. And I'll see you there since I'm going to be one of the speakers. All right, very excited to that. And now let's go ahead and bring Luis onto the stage. Hey, how's it going, brother?
How are you doing?
I'm doing all right, and I want to thank you, first of all, for accepting to come onto the stage and come here and show us a little bit of your knowledge and your secrets on how you're looking so dope, so premium looking without breaking the bank, right? That's where it's important because a lot of people are having that issue where they're like, I want to look premium, I want to look presentable, I want to look like really high end, but I do not have a lot of money. Well, I want to see the things that you have to say because not only you know how to save money and help us save some money in the gear purchasing, but you hacked your way around certain things. Where since this is a university, you're gonna be our professor today. But before we do any of that, Luis, for those of us that do not know you, could you please take a minute and introduce yourself to them, please?
Sure. Well, my name's Luis Vega. I'm a single father. Pretty much in a nutshell, I am, well, the story I can say really changed and evolved 5 years ago when my son was born. He decided to crash the party, like I say, and he was born 4 months premature at 1 pound 9 ounces.
Oh
He was
wow.
given less than 25% chance of survival, and from that moment on, it flipped my entire world upside down. At that moment, I was doing phone repairs at a storefront location, and with the hospital visits and everything, I don't even know how I got through it, because it was basically wake up at 6 in the morning to go see my son at the hospital, go to work, be there for 10 hours, and then go right back to the
Wow.
hospital to then get some sleep and do it all over again. Um, that really put a lot of things into perspective. And he, in the short 5 years that has been here, has overcome a lot of challenges, and we still have some challenges to go. But he has taught me so much in these short 5 years that I have changed so many things in my life according to that. And he's really taught me how to put things into priority, so to speak.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I went from having a storefront location to now having a completely mobile repair solution where I do all of my iPhone repairs from my vehicle. And I do that so that I can cater to my son,
And that
because I
is,
spend all my time with him. Yeah.
and I don't want you to give too much too early because we got some goodies coming in the show, and that is one aspect that I wanted us to talk about today. Is the
Hmm.
business aspect of it, and this is a prime example. And I'm really happy that you're taking the time to, just share your story with us, because so many people are parents, right? So many people have responsibilities, or even have their elder care. They're the full there for their elders, their parents, or something going on. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't pursue your heart, your passion. That because you have that going, you should leave it all behind. And you are a prime example that you can still have responsibilities, right, that are primary in your life, and still be able to swing things around and pursue your passion and your purpose in life, and not let all that go, which is a struggle to a lot of people. So we're going to learn from you in regards to those type of things. Now, one thing, let me go ahead and ask you, is the little fella with you right there?
Yeah, he's with me right now. He's hanging out. I'm trying to get him to take a nap so that this can run super smooth. But there's been live streams where he has taken over and I've had to cut things short just because, he is priority. And the problem with him is that he, through his challenges, and maybe on a later date you could get really into the details because there was a lot. But he doesn't speak. So because of this, even though he communicates himself to me, whenever he's crying or upset, he really can't tell me exactly what it is. So I have to run through like a list of things of what it possibly can be. And it's
In order to
uh,
identify it.
yeah, exactly, to identify the problem, to see if it's something that's serious that I need to attend to. And sometimes he just wants to be held like any other kid. So it's always a guessing game whenever that happens. And that's the way that I go my day to day with my little guy.
Well, impressive things you're doing, Lewis. I want to take my hat off to you, because not a lot of people can do what you're doing, which is one of the reasons why you're here on the show. That is phenomenal what you're doing. And folks, let's be candid, all right? Let's understand, fingers crossed, that he's going to be able to, go through the entire show without any problem, so we can learn the things I want to learn. So let's jump into this real quick, okay? First of all, how did you get into content creation? I mean, why are you
That's
producing?
That's a great question. Well, it first started with him, right? Because I changed my entire life for him, and now I endeavored in a new form of business. Now, I also actually went to school for television production and filmmaking. So, this is my passion. And this is what I always wanted to do, but life always gets in the way. And once I finished school, like the opportunities weren't there with my situation, so right away you just fall into the workforce, and your passions get put on the back burner.
Right,
Well, it
right.
so happened that it was the business, right? And now being mobile, I wanted to better brand my business and have better video and photos of what I was doing with my iPhone repairs. So with that, I took it upon myself to put the skills that I had to use, and then started getting into the content creation and hitting the social medias to promote my business. And with that, what really took it was that I had a little point and shoot camera that was doing everything for me, because I wanted
Mm-hmm.
something a little bit better that, 3 years ago, iPhone was producing, as far as video was going.
Mm-hmm.
So I used this camera and it broke. And that led me into the hunt of looking for my new camera. Once I started looking into cameras, I did what we all kind of do, which is consumer reports.
Mm-hmm.
And I started just researching cameras, and it 100% sparked the passion that I had negated for so long. I had been using cameras, but literally just surface level. But once I started to realize the technology that I had missed for basically the last 20 years, and
Mm-hmm.
spent like 6 months just feeding my mind of all the progression that the technology has advanced. Because when I did fall into the workforce, I fell into computers and computer networking. So I actually do, system and hardware repairs. And with that being said, I know the ins and outs of the electronics that work inside of the cameras. And that's what hooked me. The next thing you know, I'm
Nice.
I'm into my DSLR cameras, and started shooting Canon again. And it's been an evolution, and that's kind of why I called myself Mr. Camera Junkie. It was
Right,
an
right.
evolution from my Mr. Fix It repairs, and in that same name kind of like scheme, I went
Mm-hmm.
into Mr. Camera Junkie because it's exactly what I am. I'm just a junkie for all things camera.
I like the name Mr. Camera Junkie. When I saw that the first time, like this is pretty cool and unconventional. I really like that. So
That was
talking
the
about
other thing.
cameras,
No,
yeah.
well, just to mention that, I my name Luis Vega is actually a very popular name in the Hispanic community. So when I started looking that up for photography,
Mm-hmm.
um, I I'm like the 700th Luis Vega in the state of Florida. So I was like, that's gonna be really hard to stick out, and that's where I also decided to go with that name, because right away you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I mean it's and that is branding, right? That's branding 101, right? Like a name that is speaking volume and pretty much without you asking the person any question. It kind of tells you what it's all about. It's self-explanatory, right? That is pretty cool. Now let me ask you, talking about cameras, which camera are you using right now on this stream?
Well, right now I'm using the Sony A6100
All
with the
right.
Sigma 16 millimeter f1.4.
All right. Can we take a look at your setup? Can we look at the
Yeah,
behind the scenes
let
and
me
see
see
how you
about
have that?
getting this. Now, what I have available to show you is my iPhone XR. So
All
the
right.
video, just to let you know, is going to come in thin because it's not going landscape for whatever reason, but we'll
That's
worry about
perfectly
that
fine.
another day. All right, let me open up this and switch it out.
All right.
And okay, so yes. So now we're seeing my camera perfect. Okay, let me back up here.
Mm-hmm.
As you can see, that's my A6100 where you can see me. I built, and this was a while ago, but I built a wooden tripod or a quad pod because it was the only thing that I could fit in my limited space for my desk. With that, I just connected a ball mount, and what's holding up my camera to the perfect height.
Oh,
The cool part
hold on right
about
there.
that, go
Hold
ahead.
on right there. So you built a wooden tripod that you put on the desk. You built that yourself?
Yes,
Oh wow.
that's the
So
first thing.
okay.
As you can see, it's wood.
Yes, I can see it.
Yeah, so right there, that's my wooden tripod. The ball head is just the same, so that doesn't have any issues, and that gives me the perfect height because that's where I wanted the camera as far as height goes for the shot that I wanted to produce. So I was able to cut the wood exactly where I wanted to and get the camera at the exact height. So that was the first thing that
Okay.
I did, but that wasn't even at this studio. That was in my previous home. Um, Here I have my Samsung MT101 condenser microphone. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know if you can still hear me because I'm a little
Oh
backed off,
yes, I
but
can hear you perfectly. Yes.
okay. So this is my more recent purchase. I found this in the used market for $20. It's about $120 microphone, but
Mm-hmm.
Facebook Marketplace is a great place when it comes to getting good used gear, and especially because you can see the people who you're dealing with, so you can tell more or less if the item has been well taken care of or if it
Right.
hasn't. What
Nice.
what is controlling all of my audio
Mm-hmm.
is this one mixer here. I bought this from Amazon and it's turned out to be pretty good. It was like a 50 or $60 mixer. The reason why I chose it is because personally I don't like the knobs for all of the, for all of the settings, and I like the traditional like slider. So
Mm,
this was the
okay.
only one that I could find with like traditional sliders that was just basic, and it's been able to do everything that I want. It's taking my XLR microphone, so it's
Mm-hmm.
mixing that through. I have right here next to it an extremely old iPad that I had absolutely no use for besides this live stream. So my iPad, I was able to download a program that does my sound effects. So you can hear my air
Nice.
horns and everything like that. So I have a
Now,
touch screen interface
now let
running
me
my
ask you
audio.
real quick. Let
Go
me ask
ahead.
you real quick. Which program are you using to set up those sound effects in your iPad?
Oh, that's actually a great question. It was a program here, so I'm going to give you the name. It's called Hundreds of Buttons. It was
Hundreds
a
of
free
buttons.
program. It's
Mm-hmm.
literally the number 100 apostrophe S of buttons.
All
And you
right.
search that in the App Store, and this is what you get. Uh, Basically, I think you paid $2.99 for the application,
Mm-hmm.
and it literally has, this is just this these two pages are my favorites. This is what I use. But if I were to get away from my favorites, it literally has hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of
Wow.
buttons
Wow.
with like endless sounds. So it just continues. And for $2, that was a great investment. The best investment was that I was still able to use a piece of hardware that normally would be just sitting here doing nothing at my
Right.
house. This is an iPad third generation, just so that you know. Look, it still has the plastic home button because that was before the Touch ID existed for iPads. So,
Right. Now, let me ask you before we
mhm.
move on from the iPad. Whenever you press the sound effect, do you have the iPad connected directly into your computer to bring the sound in, or are you just using the speaker from the iPad?
No, I'm using the mixer. That's what the
Oh, there we
mixer is
go.
for. So you see right here, I have the headphone jack out, and then I have it plugged in that comes in here. So this little slider back here, let me get under here. This one, you see it says sound effects. I
Mm-hmm.
have it to negative 40. And the little tip is that I also put gaff tape
Mm-hmm.
to the levels so that I can never slide past the levels that I want. So I can never make the audio
Okay.
too loud because I literally have a physical limiter on there that I put through the gaff tape. But I also have a reference to how I keep all my audio in little stickers underneath so that I know my music when I want to play it, what
Mm-hmm.
decibels I set them up, and that it's all connected. So this slider controls my music, this one controls my sound effects, and then this one controls my microphone that you're listening to me on right now. Did you get all
All
that?
right. Yep, I got that. Fantastic, fantastic. All right, I'll be looking into downloading that application myself, as I don't have it. Thanks for sharing that. So, besides that, what else you got going on right there on your setup?
Okay, right now I have my iPhone XR connected via the lightning cable,
Okay.
and that's what's giving you the image. This same connection I usually have connected to this iPad, which is my more recent iPad. This is the one that I use more.
Mm-hmm.
But this I just have connected the same way that you're seeing the camera here, so that I could actually look up things on the internet on the fly. So that when I'm on a live stream and I want to search something because I might want to look it up at that moment, I have the
Mm-hmm.
ability to just touch screen, open up my iPad, and just underneath it, this keyboard here controls this iPad. So if I were to type anything in, that's where I would actually be selecting, and writing out
All right. So
anything
for the
under
folks
there.
that since we're learning, this is a school, right? Content Creator University. So we're learning here step by step for people that may not fully understand. Let me reiterate this. So pretty
Hmm.
much, usually, in order to produce, you will connect that iPad via the lightning cable. So the other end will be plugged into the USB port of your computer, and
Yes.
then in
And then
eCam,
Ecamm, yes,
you'll be
because
able to
Ecamm is an
see it.
incredible program, will handle it and recognize it as an iPad, and it becomes one of the selections that I have as a camera.
Right. And then, of course, you'll be using NDI, right, in order to display that, or what do you use? Just
Actually,
natively?
no, you don't
Native?
need. Yeah, exactly. Once it's physically connected, NDI is if you're going to use the wireless or the
Right.
Bluetooth, so that let's say it was just floating here, I can still connect it. But because I usually connect it with the lightning, and just to make sure that it's always fully powered, I just leave it there, and I have my iPad, well, like my third generation iPad, and then my new iPad. So this is sound effects, and this is basically anything that I need a
On
computer
the
to do.
web. All
Hmm.
right. Nice. Perfect. Perfect. Thanks for explaining that. And now I see another keyboard down there, the regular Mac keyboard. Do you use that at
Yes.
all, or?
Yes, because this is part of my setup. Now, another thing that I was able to do that I'm about to show you is something that I kind of created, which was I took two Mac Minis of the old school ones, and I glued them together to make them a tower. You see it in the background?
All right. Yes, I
Okay,
see it.
and I call that my Apple Cube. The left side controls everything that we're seeing here, see, on this monitor, and the right side controls that monitor.
Okay.
Okay, so I have completely two separate machines, and I have similar programs that allow me to do editing on both, so I can render two different files at the same exact time.
Oh wow. Oh wow. Fantastic. So they are
Hmm.
fully functional. You just put them together, glue them
Hmm.
together. So it's like one computer, but they have their individual ports, and each one
Yep.
is connected to a monitor, and you're using them individually to produce different things. What? Okay. Perfect. Perfect.
The best thing about it for me is that I actually have them dual monitor connected on both sides. So if I wanted to, I can make this monitor here on my right side the left side's second monitor, and I can do the same thing with the left monitor here being the second monitor on my right computer. So
Right.
they're both connected to both monitors. I know that could get a little confusing, but just so that you know, I have full functionality of how to use the computer, so that if I only want to use one of the two computers, but both monitors, I still have the ability to do that.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I understand what you're saying, folks. Again, we're learning here. This dude can build computers, so that's why he has set up like that. Now, this type of things
Okay.
you don't have to do them, but it's
No.
just for you to be inspired and see what options you have available out there, right? Because it is important for us to know what are the options we have. So by looking at these type of setups, that gets us inspired, opens up a whole new possibilities, and things that we didn't initially think of that we could be able to do. Now we're doing them. So what else do you have there, Lewis, that we can take a look at?
Okay, so I'm just going to continue. Now, we do have the A6100, right? That's my main camera, but I'm a photographer, and my main photography camera is actually my Sony A7R2, which is a full
Okay.
frame, camera. So, right just next to it here, hanging, I have my Sony A7R2. I do have it connected, plugged in with USB for power and HDMI for video. I have that running through my cage, and that's also connected to my live streaming setup so that I have dual cameras and a second angle while I do my live stream.
Okay,
That's
okay.
another great thing about Ecamm, that you don't need all these like the A10 mini controllers
Mm-hmm.
to have multiple cameras and multiple views on your live stream. So now I'm going to back up a little bit to try to see if I can get a little bit more of this in the shot. Okay.
Right. All
And
right, well, I
I'm
can
going to
see it.
show you my light setup, which these are my lights. Now, this one here is a standard IKEA desk lamp,
Mm-hmm.
as you can see. And I was able to get a light and throw it in there. There is a piece of paper, just standard computer copy paper, just standard piece of paper. And that's what's actually causing the diffusion. So that's my diffuser before it hits the grid that I made for it. And that's just so that this light is well concentrated on me and doesn't spill out onto my background. And then this is my main key light, which you had mentioned before. I made this out of foam board. And if you can see here up top, my entire computer cage is made out of metal. So right here on the top, I attached some magnets. And as you can see, I'm just showing you the back end. So try to flip it. Let me see. Doing this one-handed. Here we go. Boom. Okay. This is a better view of what I made. Now, if you have a broken lamp, anything of the sort that can hold the light bulb, that's basically what I have attached here to the back with a small spacer. And then from here, I just built out a, a kind of like softbox rig. And that's what's condensing all of the light. Now, I'm going to turn off that light so I can show you the inside. Right? Now that it's off, I'm going to bring it back over to the front and take off the cover so that you can see what we're dealing with. It is just basically a kind of like a pyramid shape headed towards to
Wow.
the outside. And the cover for it, like I said, once again, is just a piece of paper. So this is just the diffusion. And the reason why I just didn't close it off
Mm-hmm.
and left it open was so that I can change the light bulb in the
The light
future if I
bulb
wanted to.
whenever, yeah, whenever it goes
Yeah.
out.
If I have anything now, the light bulbs that I use, they're generic little USB RGB lights that I found on Amazon. And I bought a couple to test them out. And
Mm-hmm.
once I liked the the program that they were using or working with, and I saw that I can use them with my videos because they wouldn't flicker, that's when
Right.
I said, okay, I just bought a bunch and I basically replaced every light that I have here with those RGBs.
Now, talking about the foam board that you use, how were
Mm-hmm.
you able to connect the foam boards around the light bulb that you have in there? What did you use?
Okay, that's a good question because all I used was hot glue. So a hot
Okay.
glue gun and foam, I can't tell you how, like that's almost like a perfect match made in heaven. Now, um I think that's it for my behind the scenes, right? Like I don't think there's much more, but I'm going to switch to the regular camera. Okay. Let me go
He's coming
here.
back on the regular camera. That is fantastic. I mean, you see it, folks. You see it. You can really be innovative, right? Like you can think outside the box and
Okay.
create things without breaking the bank. Because I mean, that's one thing that I was thinking about is how much all that approximately might have cost. Luis, and do you have like an approximate number without including your camera, of course, your
Yeah.
ACC 100, and your monitors? everything else, the accessories, can you do you have an approximate number how much that may have cost you?
Well, let me take a think about this real quick because there were certain things that I already had because of my business. Being a computer tech, I already
Right.
had computers. Being a side, business photographer, I also already had my cameras. So when I came into live streaming, talking about this, it was Live Streaming Pros is a great channel on YouTube. I was in one of their live streams, and that's where I found Doc Rock. So
Right.
it was like a perfect little storm, and I had just started live streaming, like 3 days prior when he invited me to the group, and the rest is history. But when I decided to actually do this, right? Because I first started by connecting my Sony cameras using the Sony Web Utility, and the lag or the latency that I was getting from the camera out to the computer was not something that I was happy with. So my first investment was a $20 video card from Amazon. And besides the lights, I can
And for the people
honestly tell
that
you,
I don't want to interrupt you, but just for the
yeah,
students that or the people that are learning out of this, when he's saying video card, he's meaning a capture card. That's
yes,
what you're,
I
yeah. So
forget sometimes.
that's what he's talking about. Proceed.
Yeah, so I bought a $20 video capture card from Amazon, just the basic little one, and I saw a huge difference, improvement in my video quality that I was like, okay, I can work with this. So I bought three, oh no, two more. So I have three in total, and I think that accumulated to be like $60. I
Okay.
think with the lights, right? Because all the lights that you see here are because of it. I think I bought a total of like 12 lights that surround my area, and I paid like $50 or $60 in total for that.
Oh, not bad. Okay.
Yeah. And it gives me options. So right now I'm just going to show you. I'm going to put full power on all the lights, and
Oh,
I can
wow.
change my entire setup just like that. And now
Wow.
I'm just complete bright, and then I have the ability to just change it right back to my color scheme because I have complete control over my lights. And for $60, I think that's ideal,
That's
including
awesome.
that my two key lights are the same RGB lights. So they're all connected. And if I want to say lights out, every light in my entire studio just shuts off, and
Now, let
it's
me ask
super
you,
convenient.
because I know I'm wondering, and other people might be wondering as well. What brand are your lights that you're using?
I'm gonna have to look that up because it's in my history, but there's no particular brand, and that's why I say it's not the Philips Hues. It is the like just a basic. It was a good reviewed, basic generic Amazon RGB light. Now the
All
only
right,
thing
folks.
is if
Uh huh.
if you just to give you the like foresight, they have to be on at full power, because if they're any color and they're not full power, you will see the stripes and the banding.
Yeah, the
But
flickering
that's
and the.
why I only have one light instead of like 20 lights here, because one light's full power is just the right amount of light that I want as my key.
Okay, good, good to know. And what I will do, our viewers, what I'm gonna do is connect with Lewis after the show. He's gonna look it up and give me the name of the lights, and I'll include that in the video description for those of you who want to go and look it up and buy that, because I know everybody loves saving some money, and if we can save some money, spend less than $100 and have RGB lights that we can control wirelessly, and have this same type of feel to it, is golden, because that is what it's all about, the visuals, right? Because I was just going to talk about your visuals behind you. You were able to create those visuals where you have blue on one side and you have purple on the other side. And for people that do not know, that goes with the same branding that he has going on his page right there, right? On his
Yes.
YouTube page. This is perfect because whenever somebody sees that and watches his video, it's like, okay, I know this guy. He is just the perfect guy that I love for my cameras, and I love it. So talking about that, some people may be looking at your, thumbnail, your banner on your YouTube, and be like, "That's dope." Now, the picture that you have, did you take that same picture with your A61 or the other Sony camera in order to create that banner?
That picture, I believe, was taken with my full frame camera,
Okay.
because prior to me switching to the A6100 as the main, that uh, the A7R2 was the one
Mm-hmm.
that was sitting on this wooden tripod. So because that was there, if you can see, that picture is pretty much me just backing up and snapping the camera because I needed to get something up there. And the colors, yeah, they're important for the branding and anything that you do. But I'm gonna show you something else right now.
Let's go.
I'm gonna hit this light setup right here, right? And you see that it
Mm-hmm.
all turned blue.
Yes.
This is my light setup for Mr. Fix It, which is my business. So whenever I'm gonna do a video and I want to brand it Mr. Fix It, all my lights go blue because that's the branding that I have according to that. And whenever it's Mr. Camera Junkie, I click over to my blue and magenta because these are colors that go well with my skin tone.
And there we go. I went ahead and pulled up Mr. Fix It on there looking
Yes.
dope in your car. And you literally fix people's phone on mobile, right? In your
Yes.
vehicle, right? That is
Hmm.
fantastic. So, for the people that want to know, where are you located? What state are you in?
Okay, I'm in South Florida. I'm in Hollywood, Florida. I'm right in between Miami and Fort Lauderdale. It's a great location because it's suburbs, but I can get to visit either of those cities whenever I want.
Oh, nice, nice. And yeah, hey, if I was there locally, I have an issue with my phone. I'm calling Mr. Fix It right away because it's so easy and more convenient just to have somebody just wait outside in this vehicle, fix your phone real quick, and give it back to you, and you keep moving. And that is the reality, right, that we have where we have to run our
Mhm.
business and then we have to run our content creation. Now, let me ask you a question. For somebody that just want to get started, and have really responsibilities in their life, what will be your main advice if you were to give them one advice? What will that be?
To just get started, because nobody has made their best video as their first video. And that's including myself and every content creator out there. Their first video is always going to be cringy a
Mm-hmm.
year from the point of upload. Compared, like, that's, it's just a natural progression because you will automatically learn more just by doing. Now there was a story about a classroom in college where the professor divided half of the room and
Mm-hmm.
told half of the students to dedicate all of their time into making a pot, like a pottery
Yes.
class,
Mm-hmm.
to making the perfect pot, but that they could only make one. Okay. They were only able to create one and just make it as perfect as they can. And they had 30 days to do it. The other half of the class was told, you can also have to produce a pot at the end, but you have to make one every single day. And they don't have to be perfect. You just need to make one every single day. So after 30 days, they all presented their best pottery, and it was by majority that the side that was just making pots every day and not worried about perfection actually ended up producing the more perfect pot out of the entire class, because there's so much that you learn in the process of doing comparative to trying to be perfect, because perfection is a myth.
Mm-hmm.
There's no such thing as perfect. So perfection ends up being a crutch that a lot of content creators use as a method to say, you know what, it's not ready yet. It's not perfect. Well, nothing's perfect and nothing will ever be perfect, but it could be as good as it can be, and you should go
Right.
with that.
Fantastic, fantastic. Luis, this brings us to the end of the show. I want to thank you again for the people that were
That flew
watching.
by.
Yeah, it went fast, right? We've been here
Yeah.
pretty much almost an hour, in the show. And I want to tell you folks, you can go ahead and follow Mr. Camera Junkie on his social pages, his Facebook, and this is his YouTube. Go ahead and subscribe to his channel. He's doing some phenomenal things. And just real quick, Louis, what is your channel about?
Well, as you can see, it said there, it says upgrade your skills and not your gear, because a lot of people get hung up on gear instead of learning the skills. And that goes right back to the story that I was just mentioning. Are you going to be worried about more the gear, which was the half of the classroom that was only able to make one perfect pot? Or are you going to be more worried about making the content every day and becoming perfect in your craft? Because one of the things that I think of when it comes to photography is that to become a great photographer, the camera that you have in your hand should be the last thing that matters. So I learned and moved over from different camera brands, and now I'm happy with the Sony ecosystem, but that's because it really caters to my needs. When it comes to photography, I have my main Sony camera, and when it comes to video, I also have my main Sony camera. But as a photographer and a camera junkie, I also have a Fuji camera and a Nikon camera and quite a few others, because the camera itself is just the medium that you're using to express your art. And you need to remember that that shouldn't be the reason that hinders you from creating your art also. So don't worry so much about what brand of gear that you have, and try to put more emphasis on learning the things, like upgrading your skills. Because once you think about it that way, the sky's the limit. you know
Sky's the
you
limit.
can you
Absolutely.
can make a key light out of foam board and get it to work.
Fantastic, fantastic, Louis. Thank you so much, aka Mr. Camera Junkie.
Thank
He
you.
truly is a junkie of the camera. And we'll be connecting with you on your social media pages on YouTube. Go subscribe, folks, and let's see all the awesome things going there. You couldn't have put it well. I want you to stay behind the scenes, Louis, as we close this show. And folks, there we go. This is Content Creators University, and these are the type of things that you can look forward to learning. And again, he said it so well, right? Practice makes perfect. The main thing is your story, not the tools you're using to write the story, right? The main thing is the actual story itself. That's what's gonna impact people and transform their lives. So let's keep writing our story and sharing our story and telling our story. And also the gear should be the complement. It should complement our story, not be the storyteller. We'll see you again next time for another video right here in Content Creators University. If you appreciate this video, go ahead and smack the like button on the bottom there. Share it if you've learned anything. And we'll see you next time with another professor. You be safe, like I always say. Shalom. Bye bye, guys.